I'm Captain Bamster. I have the privilege of being captain aboard the training ship Golden Bear and the director of marine programs here at Cal Maritime.
I'm Amy Hume, West Coast Logistics Director for DCLI. My name is Ashley Esparza. I'm the Key Client Director of Landside here at APM Terminals Pier 400.
My name is Dr. Bonnie Nixon. I am the Director of Sustainability for the Long Beach Container Terminal.
I'm Martha Miller, the Executive Director of the California Association of Port Authorities.
I am Martina Galdus. I am Senior Vice President of Technical Operations at Carnival Cruise Line.
My name is Sandy Olson from Carnival Corporation. I'm a Vice President of Corporate Affairs.
I'm Philip Arno. I'm the director of the Southern California office of Hapag Lloyd.
My name is Sophie Silvestri, and I'm a proud member of the Pasha Group team.
My name is Patricia Aguirre, and I am the elected secretary of ILWU Local 63, the Marine Clerks.
I'm Jennifer Cohen, Vice President of Government Relations at PMSA.
I'm Jacqueline Moore, Vice President of the Pacific Merchant Shipping Association.
My name is Natasha Villa, External Affairs Manager of the Pacific Merchant Shipping Association.
I'm Laura Germany, Vice President of HR and Administration at PMSA.
I'm Carrie Ann Dill. I'm one of the commercial managers here at Saltchuck Marine.
My name is Mickey Nomura. I am a Senior Manager of Labor Relations at PCMC.
I'm Leanne Dulles, Director of Integrated Logistics for the Pasha Group.
I'm Emily Sinclair, Corporate Communications for the Pasha Group and Pasha Hawaii.
My name is Katherine Kronheim, and I'm with the Pacific Maritime Association, and I am a Labor Relations Associate.
My name is Toshiko Hasegawa. I'm Port of Seattle Commission President.
Yolanda de la Torre, Harbor Commissioner for the Port of Los Angeles.
Lucille Roybal-Ellard, President of the Board of Commissioners for the Port of Los Angeles.
My name is Daniela Ruiz, and I'm a Cargo Marketing Manager with the Port of Los Angeles.
My name is Dina Arian-Zalen, Deputy Executive Director of Development at the Port of Los Angeles.
Erica Calhoun, Executive Officer and Deputy Executive Director of Finance and Administration with the Port of Los Angeles.
My name is Stephanie Magnin-Rockwell, Chief of Staff to the Executive Director at the Port of Los Angeles.
My name is Eleanor Torres, and I'm Managing Director of Strategic Advocacy for the Port of Long Beach.
I'm Bonnie Lowenthal. I'm President of the Board of Harbor Commissioners, Port of Long Beach.
Stephanie Montoya Mariski, Director of Communications and Community Relations for the Port of Long Beach.
Sharon Weissman, Commissioner on the Long Beach Board of Harbor Commissioners, Port of Long Beach.
My name is Sue Devanch, and my company is Shea Harding Executive Search, and I am Managing Partner.
I'm Christine Zortman, Executive Director at the Port of Redwood City in Silicon Valley.
My name is Abigail Struxness, and I'm the Director of Sustainability at SSA Marine.
My name is Susan Ransom. I'm the Client Relations Manager for SSA's Oakland International Container Terminal.
Hi, I'm Nina Turner, and I'm responsible for local and regional government relations here at the Port of Long Beach.
My name is Sue Coffey. I'm Vice President of Key Accounts and Marketing for the Pacific companies based in Long Beach, California.
The maritime industry has given me courage, strength, and growth beyond anything I could imagine.
Women in maritime have come a long way from being considered bad luck on a ship or only allowed on the front bow as a carved buxom mermaid, but I'm so proud to be a part of the maritime industry and history.
To me, being a woman in maritime means stepping into a space where leadership, resilience, and representation matter deeply. I hope to inspire the growing influence of women in maritime governance, especially Latina women, who bring strength, perspective, and heart to the industry.
As a commissioner at the Port of Long Beach, I'm proud of our goal of being the first zero-emissions port in the world. Our commitment to our community is not just cleaner air and water, but thousands of good jobs and supporting nonprofits.
Being a woman in maritime, especially a longshore woman, means standing strong in a space that hasn't always welcomed us. I take pride in representing the hardworking women and men that move the world's cargo through our ports.
There should be more women in maritime because diversity builds strengths. It gives representation to everyone at the table, and industries are known to thrive when talent is recognized without bias.
Whether that be at sea or on shore, ultimately I think it plays to women's strengths because intuitively we really love that sense of connecting. And so that provides you that opportunity, whether it be at a local level where you're meeting and experiencing new destinations, colleagues from other cultures who have their own perspective, or whether that be at that really big macro level where it's about international commerce and everything in between.
Women bring different problem-solving approaches, leadership styles, and communication skills that make teams stronger and more effective.
To me, being a woman in maritime means breaking barriers in an industry that's long been male-dominated. It's about bringing whole person leadership from your lived experience, your fresh perspective that's rooted in equity, in addition to sustainability and industry and community. I love working in this field because the port connects everyone across borders and cultures and economies.
I believe that what women bring to the table is a collaborative spirit, cooperative spirit, one that really is good at listening and understanding. And that's not to say that men aren't good at that. I think these are some natural tendencies that women bring to the table, and I believe we need a lot more women.
Being a woman in maritime means learning every day and embracing the adventure. It means creating awareness and belonging so that other women can confidently enter a non-traditional sector and contribute and thrive. If anything is constant in this industry, it is that every day is different. And since women tend to be incredibly adaptable by nature, anticipating change and approaching challenges as opportunities are keys to our collective success.
There's an incredible fellowship with other women within the industry, a subtle nod to one another sometimes when you're sitting at the table.
Really important to have women in maritime because this industry deserves the best and the brightest as active participants. And it's just not possible if women or any underrepresented demographic are excluded. I appreciate the women and men at the Port of Los Angeles who have mentored me and provided me with the opportunity to get to where I am today.
More women in our industry means a more diverse, innovative, and resilient industry, leading to better problem solving, improved decision making, and ultimately a more competitive landscape. By increasing the representation of women in our industry, it signals that we are inclusionary and welcome the addition and collaboration of diverse perspectives. And we all stand to improve when we include the thoughts and ideas of others.
I am honored to recognize the incredible women in maritime. At the Port of Los Angeles, we are proud of the women who have advanced through the ranks in fields of engineering, construction, finance, and real estate. At our port, women represent 37% of the professional engineering workforce, nearly double the norm.
Now, 30 years later, I'm still in the industry. I love my job, I love my company, I love maritime, and I would highly recommend maritime as a career path.
When I started working in the maritime industry, it was intimidating because the industry was so heavily male-dominated. I've been fortunate enough to find an incredibly supportive community of women working in this industry, and we all lift each other up and stick together.
I encourage you women in our industry to go ahead and apply for the big jobs because you can get them. I'm evidence. I was one of 60 applicants that was female, and I got the job, and I know you can too. Congratulations to you all for being trailblazers in our industry.
As we celebrate International Women in Maritime Day, I'm proud to be part of a growing wave of diverse leadership, having a variety of perspectives, whether from different genders, backgrounds, or experiences, makes our industry stronger, more resilient, and better equipped to navigate our future.
Women in maritime are unstoppable.
What I love the most, the rhythm of the unexpected. No 2 days look the same. It keeps me sharp, adaptable, always learning, and a growth mindset just isn't optional here. It's a way of life.
The sheer breadth and variability of the enterprise. It's global, it's local, and it's everywhere. Being part of this industry is a true honor, and I feel fortunate to contribute.
Maritime to me is like a large family, connected, all within the global supply chain. Personally, I have had great opportunities in this industry. I never limited myself. I learned as much as possible. I worked in as many different jobs as I could, crossing barriers and building my career.
It's incredibly complex. There are a lot of things, everything from engineering to environmental planning to sustainability, business development. There are all of these things are connected to the maritime industry.
What I love most about working in maritime is getting to share the wide range of incredible stories of my colleagues at sea and ashore, seeing new ships built, meeting with cadets, and advocating for a robust American maritime.
Being involved in an organization that is intertwined with geopolitics while remaining a critical partner with my local community. I experience the ways that the global economy impacts the port and subsequently our region and vice versa.
It's about solidarity and strength. Our work keeps the global supply chain moving, but it also keeps our union values alive. And for me, I do this for those that have come before me, but I do it for those that are coming next.
What I love most about working in maritime is the focus on the ocean. I've always been an ocean lover. I grew up near the ocean, and any time that I even moved for short periods of time to landlocked places, I had this longing to get back near the ocean, near the marine life.
And my favorite thing about the industry is that I learn something new every single day.
I'm so grateful to be part of the maritime world because the problems are complex and meaningful, and I'm constantly learning.
There's so many aspects to it, and it's always changing. The constant innovation to support the global supply chain keeps things exciting.
What I love about working in the maritime industry is how ports operate on a global stage, moving products, people, and essential supplies that power the economy while staying deeply rooted in the communities that we serve.
Global trade touches all of our lives in some way, and it gives me the opportunity to connect with a diverse range of people from across the country.
We're impacted by global trade flows, by weather conditions, by impact to labor, equipment shortages that impact the supply chain.
Since this is a global industry, the different experiences we get to have with cultures, and also I've always found how cargo moves very fascinating, how it comes all over the world and how many touch points it has. It's truly fascinating.
Working in the maritime industry is an amazing opportunity to be part of global trade and investment.
What I love most is that we are a group of problem solvers who aren't afraid of hard work to get the job done. I love working with our operations teams on sustainability projects that benefit both the terminals and the communities around us.
I'm thrilled women are discovering careers in this global industry, which offers incredible opportunities. I urge young women to learn more about this exciting industry that has so much to offer.
I think for young women that are looking to identify what their career path is, I think it's important that you really think about what's important to you, what your priorities are, what you find encouragement from, and to identify a career path. I think there's a lot of different opportunities in the maritime industry, and I think there's a lot of great opportunities for women to really find the fulfillment that they're looking for in a career.
Trust your instincts and don't underestimate what you bring to the table. You might be the only woman in the room sometimes, but you deserve to be in that room. Find allies, build a strong network, and keep learning. The path might not always be smooth, but it's worth it. There's so much opportunity in this industry, and we need more women to step into it with confidence.
Advice that I would give a young woman that is seeking a career in the maritime industry is step in with confidence. You don't have to have it all figured out. Ask questions, seek support, find a mentor, and just give your perspective because your experience is valuable. There's space here for you, and we need you.
To young women considering this industry, be yourself, be bold, be curious. You don't have to fit a mold to make an impact. Your authenticity is your strength.
I encourage other women to join the field because it is incredibly rewarding, and I look forward to welcoming them with the same warmth and hospitality that I was welcomed with.
Be curious, be open-minded. There's going to be so much that you don't know, but you have to be willing to learn and adapt and then eventually lead.
So whenever you get a chance, ask questions and be open to learning and being open to the advice that is given to you. Don't be intimidated by the industry itself. Make friends and accumulate mentors. I have been blessed to have had some pretty great mentors who have led me through some tricky areas where I didn't know what to do or where to go or how to ask questions.
My advice to any young female that wants to join is dive right in. Do the job, carry your load, stand your ground, and be part of the team because we have so much to offer.
One thing that I've learned after a decade in the industry is that
Closed mouths don't get fed. Ask for what you want.
Be brave, courageous, and go ahead if that's what you want to do. There are many obstacles because this is a male-dominated environment, but if you like it, you will get it.
Just be bold. I believe this is how we should do things. Just offer up your opinion without making an excuse as to why you're offering an opinion or interjecting yourself in a discussion. You're at the table for a reason, and just speak your mind, just like your male counterparts would.
My advice for a woman who's entering the industry for the first time would be to try jobs where you can wear a lot of hats, learn new things, and really get to know the people that you work with and appreciate them.
Be truthful, be resilient, be adaptable, compassionate, relatable, and always be useful.
Find a mentor, and then as soon as you can, be a mentor. Open the door for someone else.
To be bold. I think it's amazing that there are so few women in the maritime industry, and what that means is that you can stand out and that you can make an impact by being one of the few women that are represented in this business. Sometimes it means you have to be a little bit smarter, and sometimes it means you have to work a little bit harder than your male counterparts, but there is a place for you, and this is a fantastic industry, and I hope you'll consider it.
The maritime industry is about movement and opportunity, and I'm proud to help shape a future where everyone, regardless of where you started and regardless of your gender, has a seat at the table and a stake in our shared prosperity.
I think the maritime industry is incredibly appealing to women because intuitively we're all about connecting. And so maritime gives you the chance to connect at a local level in your workplace, whether it be with colleagues from different cultures with different perspectives. And at that much bigger macro level, it's about connecting to global destinations and economies. And it's everything in between.
Women exist, we are here, and I think it's great to see a whole new generation of young women who are excited about this industry, and it makes everyone better. This type of diversity is necessary.
Women bring unique strengths, like problem solving and flexibility. My hope for the future is that we have even more women thriving in both operational and leadership roles, continuing to shape and strengthen our industry for generations to come.
Women have the opportunity to rise in this industry through engineering, logistics, or leadership roles. Congratulations to all the women in the maritime industry, and happy International Women in Maritime Day.
My hopes for the future of maritime is that it's dynamic, diverse, and driven by women. I want to see women in every room, not just participating, but as leaders in those rooms, and then eventually sharing on what they've learned to the next generation.
Women are inherently blessed with a certain set of skills from organization, communication, and emotional intelligence that I think the industry greatly benefits from.
My hope for the future, that we lead with confidence and humility, that we keep learning, keep teaching, and keep holding the door open for others. There's room for all of us in this space, and the future, it's bright.
I hope that my presence here today helps open the door a little wider for future leaders, because when everyone has a seat at the table, we all benefit. Thank you, and to all the women serving in the maritime sector, thank you for your leadership on the West Coast and beyond.
I hope to see greater opportunities for women at all levels of the maritime industry. More mentorship, leadership roles where women can feel empowered, respected, and recognized as essential contributors to the overall growth in the industry and innovation.
It's been empowering to see more women taking on leadership roles. Innovation and teamwork flourish when you feel connected as part of this amazingly diverse and talented industry. Let's keep raising those numbers.
Having more women in maritime isn't just about fairness, it's about building a more balanced industry. When young women see women like us navigating ships, running ports, or leading arbitration cases, it sends a clear message that you belong here too.
At this time, we're dealing with so many complex issues. I myself am involved in the sustainability, which is the protection of the environment, the protection of the local community.
Having more women in the industry is important because it is a male-dominated field, and to see other women in the room with me is really empowering and gives me the confidence to present myself.
I'd like to see more women and more women of color in our industry and at the C-suite level. Women comprise almost half of the world's population, yet in our industry, women make up only 41%, and at the executive level, only 26%. We can and should do better at ensuring our industry mirrors the global population.
I hope for an industry where contributions are not just asked but expected, that everyone has a voice, everyone has a seat at the table. Expertise isn't defined by gender, but rather by skill and talent.